Hi everyone. Bear with me on this video because it's been a very dense day, and this session I just came out of is really gotten me jazzed and pumped, but it's going to be kind of hard to describe. So earlier I came out of a educational session called Portland Metro EcoDistricts Initiative, Accelerating Environmental Performance at the District Scale. So this is taking it from per building up to like the neighborhood scale and beyond. So Portland, as many know, is very much a leader in sustainability, and they are seriously taking it to the cutting edge with these, with piloting 5 eco districts in the Portland area. So I'm not going to do this justice. I think the chapter is going to buy the Greenbuild proceedings, so this is one session I really recommend that we kind of broadcast and talk about and absorb. Anyways, there's a ton of kind of big definitions about eco district, but the one that I liked that they said was you'll know an eco district when you are in one. And I will show you, I'll turn the phone and I'll show you a YouTube video on one of the websites that will kind of give you an idea. But basically it's rethinking how we design districts with all the overlays and all the system flows. So we're talking about where food comes from to where information flows, district energy, district water if possible, all the needs, and then trying to achieve net zero and livability and quality of life, etc. I mean, it's very very complex, but very cool. So when they first started out, thinking about this, they looked at who else was doing something similar. So I guess there's a living city block going on in Denver, Colorado. There's a green impact zone in Kansas City, which I particularly want to look at because, as some of you know, the chapter is working with the city of Jacksonville and kind of greening downtown in a green corridor, and we're talking about kind of a green zone if we can incentivize people to come in and move and lease and build green downtown, part of the revitalization effort. And then there's the Oberlin project they looked at, and then I guess there's an Eco City in Cleveland. And then wider, there's Western Harbor in Malmö, Sweden, and then Dockside Green is a big project. I think it's an lead ND project in Vancouver. So they looked, but no one was really kind of doing this on a multi-layer level at the neighborhood level. So what is an eco-district? It's pedestrian-oriented, it encourages participation, energy and water are localized and actually celebrated, not like transported off and put into a river, cultivates conservation and stewardship, provides alternative transportation options with lots of things to see. So even if you have alternative transportation, you have to be places to go visit and enjoy. Strong regional components and resource flows are scaled appropriately. So, like for instance, and one neighborhood wouldn't be able to produce all its food. That's 3 more levels up on the bioregional level, and maybe even perhaps sometimes the global level. Whereas information is definitely on the full global level. They recommend Googling a book that's for free called Making Eco Districts. So if you Google Making Eco Districts, a PDF that you can download, and it's very much about what they call the software side of this, like changing behavior and getting people engaged in thinking about this. So what's also struck me, they then went into a pilot that they're doing with a university, and what struck me was that Portland they've already measured everything. Like their databases are incredibly robust. They know what all the energy use of every single building. They know the building types, like whether it's residential and how the occupancy and somewhat the behavior in them. So they have all the raw data and metrics that they have now analyzed, and now they're like, okay, now that we know this data, what do we do with it? So it struck me that our region doesn't have that data, and so that might be a really good first step for us to work on. They then got into other. I'm not going to go into all this, but it's a very cool presentation. What else is it? They use terms like intentional communities, social contract, grooming leadership. So the strategy is long-term and implemented long-term. We're crawling, and then we're hoping to walk, and then we're hoping to run, and then we're hoping to fly with this. They're staying ahead of regulation. In fact, they'd rather use incentives rather than regulation. They recommended everybody to read the Whistler example. So that was another resource. But let me turn to this video. So it gives you a picture. There's no sound, so it's just like an overlay. So here it is. So that's what they mean by you'll know it when you're in it. Wouldn't you like to live in a place that looks like that? That creates jobs, protects the environment, and is really healthy for people. So that video can be found on Portland Sustainability Institute's website, which is www.pdxinstitute.org. That's pdxinstitute.org. And I will do a much better job at explaining this with the full presentation, and that we'll bring home. So thanks for listening, and stay tuned for the next video. Bye.